welcome back to Blue Whale's Ecom Exchange. I hope everyone had a great Q1 and are going into the spring and summer season excited for the rest of the year. Today, we're going to get into Amazon DSP with our Associate Director of DSP, Claire Stevens. So thank you for joining us today, Claire. To start, can you just give a little introduction on yourself, some of your background and experience?
Hey, Nicole. Thanks so much. Sure. I am excited to chat all things DSP. My background has been in programmatic advertising. My most recent role was at Amazon, where I managed the internal advertiser campaigns through Amazon's DSP. And then prior to that, I worked on the programmatic sales side at the Washington Post.
So I want to start with just an overview of Amazon DSP and then why our brands today are getting so much benefit out of it.
Sounds great. Yeah. So to take a step back, DSP, for those who don't know, it stands for Demand Side Platform. It's a programmatic way to reach Amazon's audiences both on and off Amazon. While sponsored ads focus on retail using keyword or product targeting to show your ad to consumers based on their search behavior, Amazon DSP gives us the ability to leverage Amazon's first-party data to target your brand's ideal audience. It's super beneficial to include in your marketing mix, and Amazon DSP is not just for those selling on Amazon. We can set up both link into Amazon pages and link out to advertisers direct to consumer website. And we're able to collect all that data and track that attribution through Amazon Marketing Cloud as well.
Cool. And we'll talk about how DSP complements sponsored ads a little bit later, because they are definitely using it together very well, but also used for two different goals in mind. But even before that, I want to focus on just Amazon DSP compared to other display networks like Google and Meta. What are your thoughts on the benefits and some of the differences?
Yeah, sure. Really, Amazon's audience targeting capabilities are unmatched and nearly limitless. When shoppers come to Amazon, they're on a mission to make a purchase. The data collected from their activity is incredibly relevant and closely tied to their consumer habits. Now, you compare that to Google, their audience data is a bit further away from the purchase. It's based on search results, not necessarily an intent to buy. So if someone searches for lavender scented perfume, for example, Google can make indirect connections to create those audiences. But then there's Facebook. Their data is even more disconnected from purchases. They can see what you do on social media, but that doesn't always reflect to your buying habits. They try to build precise audiences by tracking users across apps, but recent privacy updates have made that even harder for them too. For Amazon, since everything consumers purchase and view is contained within their app, privacy updates don't have as much of an impact. Amazon DSP is also the only way to access Amazon's owned and operated supply, which includes Amazon's retail sites, Twitch, IMDTV, and with streaming TV on Prime Video with recently Prime Video ads and Freevee.
Google and Facebook, with privacy concerns, obviously favor the consumer, right? And Amazon DSP, with all of the commerce data that they have, because it was a shopping site first, advertising platform second, it's a bit of a advertiser and marketer's dream.
Exactly.
Okay,
cool. And what we've also found too, as an additional benefit, is that CPMs tend to be cheaper on Amazon.
Cool. And that's just because of the newness of the platform, some of the discounts DSP is providing. I would guess, like everything else on Amazon, that won't last forever. But for now, obviously some big benefits there.
Sure, of course.
And similar to those other display networks, DSP also requires some level of creative beyond just what sponsored ads has. So can you talk a little bit about what brands can expect as they're building out these display ads as it relates to the creative requirements they'll need, whether it's imagery or video?
Yeah, of course. So with Amazon DSP, we can run ads basically anywhere, online, on app, on streaming TV, audio ads, etc. Typically with our brands, we start by running display creatives, which are image or GIFs ads that can run on desktop, mobile apps across all their available supply. For display apps, we have the option to leverage responsive e-commerce creatives, which is kind of unique to Amazon as well. These are auto-generated creatives based off ASINs that the campaign or line item is promoting. So this would be specific to our advertisers who are promoting their Amazon pages. But when running REC, we still recommend customizing with the brand's logo. We can also add a custom image, a custom headline, or we can pull out a real review from Amazon to include on an REC variation. On the other hand, like you're saying, we can also run custom desktop and mobile images that include more messaging or specific branding elements for our advertisers. So we prefer to test running a few different types of creatives when running DSP. Our REC, or the responsive auto gen, is obviously a lot quicker to get set up. So if a brand doesn't already have custom images, that's a great starting point. But we typically do see REC perform pretty well for our retargeting campaigns. As you can imagine, if you were shopping for something on Amazon and then you see it as you're, reading the news, then you see it looks like an Amazon ad and you want to go back to Amazon. But we do see better performance for our brand awareness or consideration campaigns using that custom creative so that a person can really learn about the brand versus just learning about a specific product. In addition, if a brand wants to run video, we'll set up online video campaigns or streaming TV campaigns to focus even more on that upper funnel brand awareness. And according to an internal Amazon study, by combining video with display, campaigns see a 320% increase in detail page views, and brands that use display and streaming TV together saw a 47% increase in branded searches on Amazon.
So crazy. So, if we compare DSP to sponsored ads for a second, which we shouldn't because they are very different, but the intentions of DSP are more middle funnel, upper funnel, brand awareness, right? If we're going strictly for brand awareness, we should have different goals than, for example, a conversion sponsored product ad campaign that we have running on AMS, right? But to that point, the creative also has to fit there too. So if we're doing maybe potentially retargeting, you could do REC because they've already been on Amazon. They already know what the PDP looks like, right? Yep. That's more conversion focused. Whereas if it's just overall brand awareness, which is obviously increasing the level of branded searches on the platform when they get there, that should be more creative focus, likely of what other marketing teams are doing on other channels, and then applying those best practices to Amazon when it comes to creative. Is that a good summary?
That's a great summary. Perfect. Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Now let's go down to kind of sponsored ads versus DSP. So when we work with our brands, I kind of see two different paths happening right now where we've got really great brands and they're starting to cap out on sponsored ads. And we've always been on ROAS focus or MER or tacos, right? And now we're getting to this DSP side of it, which is just as valuable, if not more valuable, but the metrics again are a little bit different. So how do these kind of come together in a way that's best for the overall consumer experience? And what does that mean for the brand?
Really, the beauty of using sponsored ads and DSP together is that, sponsored ads can bring a lot of people to your listing, as you were saying, but we can't necessarily retarget them wherever they go. But with DSP, we can retarget them. So by using sponsored and DSP together, you have the highest likelihood of a conversion. We've actually been able to prove this by using Amazon Marketing Cloud, which is Amazon's data clean room solution. With Amazon Marketing Cloud, we set up an advertiser sponsored ads account as well as the DSP account that we're running and are able to see those channels working together. So we can confirm that all the different ad types, whether it's sponsored or via DSP, that they do drive a higher conversion rate than just using those ad types in silo.
And I think the reason that even our brands who are just running sponsored brands should be excited about DSP is that, of course, we know Amazon's becoming a pay-per-click platform no matter what, right? And if you are competing only on on-site searches, you're going to see those non-branded cost per clicks go through the roof. And
exactly, you're sitting in the same pool.
Exactly, right? And if you're thinking about that limited budget of that non-branded budget by your total sales, as cost per clicks go up, if you're not increasing your retail, which sometimes we don't need to do because obviously you want to still convert the customer, it's only going to get less profitable every year. So bringing in DSP should be a completely different objective, I would say. And that's why we're working more with marketing teams and e-com teams versus just previously the sales teams, that you really need to drive this other brand awareness in other spots so that when they get to the platform and they're using sponsored product ads, you have a best chance of converting those clicks because they are going to be much more competitive today than they were previously. You mentioned AMC, Amazon Marketing Cloud. Let's circle back to that a little bit more in detail. From my perspective, it's, you're able to look at sponsored ads and DSP in one, look at the full customer journey. What else makes it really beneficial and how are you using it for the brands today?
Amazon Marketing Cloud is awesome. And kind of go back to seeing the DSP and sponsored ads together is audience builds through Amazon Marketing Cloud. So we can actually build audiences based off those keywords that we might be searching, that user might be searching on Amazon's platform for sponsored ads. We can now use those for DSP ads through Amazon Marketing Cloud. We can also create audiences of someone who clicked on a sponsored product ad but did not purchase, and again activate this through the DSP. So that's just one level, is that the audiences that can be built through Amazon Marketing Cloud are so much more granular, even though they're already granular to an extent within the DSP, but they can even go further on that within Amazon Marketing Cloud. In addition to that is the insights that we can pull from Amazon Marketing Cloud. We're able to understand the customer journey at a much deeper level. With sponsored ads and DSP overlap study, we're able to confirm that running a full mix of advertising can increase baseline conversion rates by 2,000% versus just running sponsored and sponsored brand strategy only. In addition, with AMC, we can build more granular audiences, like I said, based on the conversion events. We can focus on both the first and the last touch of the customer journey. So typically, when you're looking at that return on ad spend, you're looking at that last touch attribution, that click or that ad gets the credit for the sale. But with Amazon Marketing Cloud, we can see that maybe they did see a streaming TV ad first, and then they saw a sponsored product ad, but then they left, and then they saw an online video ad, and then they came back, and then they made the purchase. So we're able to just understand the journey at a much deeper level instead of crediting just that last touch that we typically do in most metric performance. So there's so much AMC can do to help our team make recommendations for our advertisers, building these really custom audiences, and learn more about our ad strategy's effectiveness.
So I want to talk about kind of timelines and budget, because they come up a lot. First, when you talk about this full customer journey, I would assume that that timeline is much more extended than those that are just going to the platform, looking for a product, purchasing and clicking and then purchasing, right? So when you're talking about this 2,600% increase or 2,000% increase, what type of time frame should we expect at a minimum, right? I would assume it's not just 2 days that you're running these campaigns before you start to see those types of results.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with, how much potential budget is going into sponsored products. We want to have a decent amount of time where DSP and sponsored is running together. I would say, we want to see at least 30 days of performance before kind of pulling these insights and seeing how the DSP is helping drive the conversions more than sponsored products or sponsored ads they are doing alone. So typically about 30 days. Really, it's more about like 90 days. I liked about 3 months to kind of get just enough data before we start sharing those insights. And I typically see that performance just continue to go up. So when we launch a DSP campaign, that first month, it can be a little slow moving. Everything on the DSP is also tracked with a 14-day look back. So we're not going to see that, that sale that ad might have drove 14 days ago until that time. But like I said, yeah, about 90 days, 3 months, we can really get a good understanding of the effectiveness of the DSP ads that we're running.
Got it. So if we're thinking about setting up a campaign for Prime Day, for example, we've got a new product launch. Mm-hmm. Of course, display DSP would be perfect for that. You probably want to start those campaigns no later than April, I would say. Yeah. Now, right? Yep. We're increasing our budgets now so that we're really driving that upper funnel, and that when they're ready to purchase, they've already gone through our journey and are ready to convert in July.
Exactly. Yeah. April would be a great time to get ready for Prime Day.
Cool. And then I guess just from like a budget perspective, because it comes up a lot, this is not, again, with sponsored ads, it's pay-per-click, it's bottom of funnel, you could do some damage with, $5,000, I guess on average. And again, it depends on the category, right? But there is probably a minimum threshold where we come back to our brands and say, to do damage or to get enough data, you're going to need to spend at least this. Do you have any suggestions there?
Yeah. So if you were, for an example, if you were working directly with Amazon as a managed service for DSP, they require about a $35K to $50K a month ad spend. And again, just to kind of see those returns or to be able to work with their team. We have a much more flexible entry point. I think we should be starting at least 10K per month to really see the benefits. But what a lot of brands are doing too is giving like a smaller portion to DSP than to sponsored ads. I think working these together, kind of more of a 50-50 split between the budgets between sponsored ad and DSP to really see the effectiveness of DSP. But I also think the targeting strategy is really important for those brands that don't want to spend as much. We can really target. We need to target very granular. There's so much supply. If you think about the entire internet, and you're running a campaign that's not targeting anything, it's not run of site, no one's seeing your ads. Or if you're not leveraging viewability filters, so making sure that ad is actually in view for at least a second, it's not on some bottom of the page. These are just little things that you have to make sure that you're setting up correctly so that we are not having that wasted spend on DSP, because it would be very easy to have that wasted spend. But by making these granular audiences, whether they're built within the DSP or built through Amazon Marketing Cloud, excluding audiences that we know do not fit the persona. Like if we're specifically marketing to a man's boot, we want to make sure that, we're excluding women, or, making sure we're targeting that specific demographic. That's the best way to avoid having that wasted ad spend, and to make sure that DSP is as effective as the sponsored ads on the platform.
Great. Well, thank you, Claire, for joining. To the audience, if you're listening and you want to learn more, we recently just did a webinar. Claire and I basically took everything that we're talking about right now, but then went into even more detail around best practices, some of the issues that we've seen as we look at our DSP campaigns of our brands and how to optimize those. So please feel free to check out our website to learn more. But overall, hopefully this gives you all just a quick overview of DSP, what it would mean for you, how it would work into your 2024 marketing plan. And then kind of closing this out again, Claire, thank you for joining us today. It was great. Always great to talk to you.
Yes, you too. Absolutely. Thanks, Nicole.